If this movie right here got you feeling that you're the monster romance kind of lover fan, I got some movies that you need to watch. Some of these will probably be expected, but nevertheless, let's start with Meridian, also known as Meridian Kiss of the Beast, starring Sherilyn Fenn. And Sherilyn Fenn in her prime was absolutely stunning. Like, stunning, stunning, mystical siren, stunning woman. Beautiful. And in this movie, she shines. Her character goes to Romania, where her family has a castle. And while she's at the castle, she happens to go around the countryside because she's curious. And she comes across this traveling circus act. And she sees the traveling circus act, and they entice her, and they're very enchanting. And the main guy who comes out and that she's kind of taken by is this really handsome man, and she just finds him incredibly alluring. Well, as it so happens, he kind of reciprocates, and he decides to ask her to have, like they decide that they're going to have dinner, and they are going to have it in her castle. Long story short, she discovers that things are not quite what they seem with the circus act, and she learns that the gentleman has a brother. And that's about where things start to get really scary and highly eroticized, and there is a scene with bestial involvement that werewolf lovers will probably really enjoy. Which brings me to the second movie on the list, which is Coppola's version of Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder version that also has Keanu Reeves. And that one's pretty self-explanatory. It's another Dracula story. Jonathan Harker travels to Transylvania, where he meets Count Vladimir Dracula, and it's at this time that Dracula sees a picture of Mina, who so happens to be Jonathan Harker's fiance, who's waiting back in England for him, and the involvement of the story as Dracula feels this sudden, urgent need to find and be near Mina. The next one's more modern, but it just needs to be mentioned, and that is Kiss of the Vampire with Alyssa Milano. Again, it is more contemporary, differently than Bram Stoker's Dracula, and of course Nosferatu. But then again, Meridian is also more contemporary as well. But the idea of the gothic erotic romance is what the theme is here, y'all. So stay with me. That brings me to some gothic romance that shifts over a little bit into the witchy side of things, with Mirror Mirror, which is a movie about a young woman that gets this antique mirror, and there is a spirit inside of the mirror, and the different things that the spirit in the mirror is able to influence her to do, and the kind of descent into madness and power trip that she goes on as she discovers that the mirror has the ability to grant wishes, and all of this is because of the spirit in the mirror that wants to possess this young woman. Which brings me to The Haunting of Morella. Now, The Haunting of Morella is based on an Edgar Allan Poe story by the same name, and Morella was a witch who was discovered, and she was an actual practicing wicked witch. Not just given a demonization, if you will, but she actually really was, and all of the things are what lead to her ultimate undoing and perishing. But she has a daughter before she passes, and that daughter grows up, and as that daughter grows up, Morella begins to haunt her, and the different things that Morella's spirit entices and influences her daughter to do, eventually leading towards her own descent into madness and doing things that she wouldn't normally do because Morella's spirit wants to use her sort of as a pawn piece in order to complete what she had originally been wanting to do. And then that comes down to, I feel that I should add Crimson Peak in here. Crimson Peak is a beautiful movie, and of course we got some wonderful actors in it as well, with Tom Hiddleston and his role in the movie. But again, a gothic erotic horror, and if you've seen it, you know. If you haven't, then it's in the theme here. And that brings me to another classic, none other than Lovecraft's The Dunwich Horror, which everything about the Dunwich Horror and just about everything that Lovecraft does within that series, with all of the different entities and beings that are in it. It is a very erotic, very gothic, crazy, scary storyline, and if you want to watch movies about this kind of thing, it's definitely one that should be at the top of the list when it comes to this kind of stuff. And of course, because we started this as a list of movies to watch, if you were interested in the mysticism and eroticism that's the gothic romance of the present, Bill Skarsgård and Lily Rose Depp movie Nosferatu, then you should definitely, if you haven't already watched it, go watch the original 1922 version of Nosferatu. And also, you should watch the 1979 version of Nosferatu with Isabelle Adjani, which she is absolutely stunning. She is stunning in that movie. She's just stunning overall. Even in, like, the first movie I remember seeing her in was Queen Margot, and I've just found her to be ethereally beautiful ever since. The woman's just a perfect, timeless gothic goddess, right up there along, like, some of the likes of Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, and she's just beautiful. It must be something about women from, like, I think she's Italian too, but like she's as beautiful and as stunning as like Monica Bellucci, just absolutely beautiful. So again, stunning visualizations, and she's a great actress in it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you guys watch that. I spent tonight watching both of them and comparing the scenes. I have not watched the new Nosferatu yet. I will be going to see that tomorrow on Saturday, and of course be posting my reviews on all my review sites. I will likely do an article coverage on Pelleplat. If you're not already following me on Pelleplat, Pelleplat is a great site to get information for library about movies and TV shows. Write articles. They have writing challenges every single month for people who are cinephiles and just love to talk about and write reviews for movies. So if that's something that you're interested in following, you can find me on there. I have posted several of my recent reviews from Sonic 3, Mufasa, and The Bike Riders recently, and you can always, like I said, go find me on Pelleplat and check out my reviews there and my articles about different movies that I've watched and what my recommendations are.